Come and knock on my door. We've been waiting for you. You know, I have been feverishly trying to get a theme song for this godforsaken show for I don't know how long. Anybody want to sing a theme jingle? Well, here's your chance. Go ahead and send an email to a seat at the table podcast for you. That is a seat at the table podcast, the number 4, the letter U at gmail.com. You may have an opportunity to be the jingle singer for this very, very show. It's an add value for you, for me, for everyone. So that is a seat at the table podcast for you at gmail.com. Now let's get this show started. All right. Hey, you guys, welcome to an all new episode of A Seat at the Table podcast. How are you guys doing? It has been such an interesting, couple of weeks. It has been an interesting year. And as we get to the end of it all, I know everybody's kind of over it and wondering, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? But luckily for you, you've got this show, and consistency matters, doesn't it? How you doing? How you doing, Mija? Mija, how you doing? Oh, it's always so good to catch up with you, I swear. Okay, what do you have as what do you bring into the table today? For me, I've got brownies for my brownies. You know what I mean? But not too crispy, huh? In the immortal words of JT, we like a brownie, but not too crispy. Let's just get right into it. Why don't we? So in a tweet that was posted, this was a tweet from 2018, I believe. Young JT, who I would consider a chocolate young lady, she posted, and I quote, "I love pretty dark-skinned girls. Not too crispy now, but the Milky Ways be the shit." I was just saying to someone yesterday how much I love city girls and how much, especially JT, because she's so gorgeous and has managed to be rather unproblematic in, if you kind of take away the bid that she did, the little, what was her arrest for? What was her jail sentence for? Was it for scamming? Was it for, what'd she do? I would assume it was just a scam situation or some racketeering type stuff. But as you recall, JT did serve some time. So I just thought that, maybe Carisha is the problematic queen of the two. Well, it turns out that both of them are equally problematic. Now, if you recall, Carisha made some disparaging comments in the past about homosexuality in reference to her son and in reference to how she feels about homosexuality. And it caused a little bit of a scuttlebug, if I'm not mistaken, because people were a little bit disappointed. And I think it definitely brought up some feelings that people have even towards how we feel and how we treat the gay community, the homosexual community. And specifically, when they're talking like that, they're talking specifically about men, which is, anyways. So, because we can go down that rabbit hole one more time, but you know what I'm saying. So, yeah, JT, who then saw that the Instagram post or the tweet had resurfaced, simply responded, "Oh, oop, my bad." Now, again, I'm sorry, sis, but I don't think that there are, it's so sad because So there has to be levels to skin color, not just within the Black community, but within shades of skin color within the Black community. We also have to kind of break that down to have a hierarchy. Like, I'm better than you because I'm dark, but I'm not as dark as you. And that is problematic, which is so stupid because, I mean, there are people who have the most amazing skin. Don't get caught up in skin complexion. It is really, like, I wish Black people understood that, like, or thought of it in the way that, like, we are amazing. If you've ever had a favorite shirt or favorite shoe or favorite ice cream, what you are eager to oftentimes do is see it duplicated or see if you could, how many colors can it come in, how many styles can it come in, because this is just good. If you find a favorite shirt or, you want to get it in every color, you want it to work out for you, right? And that's how I feel about, like, in my mind, that's how I think that God thinks of Black people. Like, he just was so excited with us that he made us in every variation of color. We shouldn't get caught up in who's darker or who's lighter. We should really just be living for the fact that, like, we are it. He loved us so much that he made us in variety. And it runs the gamut from, extremely light and fair complected and, whatever the grayed hair that you have, to all the way to dark as midnight with a 4C quality hair. And I love everything about it. So JT, I'm sorry that you feel that way. And it definitely expresses a level of perhaps self-hatred that may be there. Dark-skinned girls oftentimes have to kind of navigate through that. So it's definitely an interesting, I was a little bit disappointed and taken aback by that. Speaking of my hope is, though, because I think that we all go through, first of all, these young ladies are 20-something years old. Not that that's an excuse, but I definitely think that as we get older, we tend to see ourselves differently. Therefore, we can oftentimes see other people differently and appreciate them in a way that our limited scope of experience would not have allowed us to, perhaps when we were younger. So, I definitely want to consider that, but I also hope that there are people around her who are constantly telling her that not only is she beautiful, but she needs to hopefully acknowledge and appreciate the beauty of people around her, regardless of what their skin color is. Whew, what a week, child. Challenging, right? What about you? Yeah, I mean, I felt like energies were like really all over the place this week, and specifically, I don't know why I just turned on the faucet, but specifically, I think a lot of full moon activity was taking place this week, so that was like, oh God, you guys. So can someone fill me in on all that is happening with Caribbean comedian Major Hype? Now, apparently this scuttlebutt has been brewing for some time. Now, popular comedian and social media personality Major Hype, if you are not familiar with him, he is a Caribbean comedian who has utilized social media to really broaden his horizon now, or broaden his fan base. I have been following Major Hype for years now. I think he's extremely funny. I think at some point I had heard rumblings of him having a show on BET. And I thought to myself, wow, that's going to be fantastic. A Caribbean-based comedy show. Yes, BET, give it to us. And then that quickly became nothing. The Brooklyn comedian then opened a restaurant here in New York City, in Brooklyn. Not sure how that's working out. And then I also basically saw that he was doing a lot of stuff in the Atlanta area, I guess because that is where he resides. Now, he would always put his relationship on social media and shared that part of his life with us, which his girlfriend Kirby, and then he's got a couple of kids from previous relationships. I'm not sure if him and Kirby have any kids, but some abuse allegations have come to light this week, as well as a sex video being leaked, as well as other people's dick pics being leaked, as well as naked pictures of her, as well as allegations of Major Hype faking his heart attack, and also having there having been physical abuse, allegations of physical abuse by Kirby regarding Hype. And needless to say, it has really taken over the Caribbean social media airwaves, if you will. And everyone seems to be a little bit confused about why these two are choosing to air their dirty laundry and to fight each other in this way. I don't know what to say. I think, listen, I think that it is, I think it's sad, not that this stuff happened or allegedly. I think whatever, however it happened, if it happened, I think it is really sad, but I think what is worse is that they feel like they can find justice in the court of public opinion. So yeah, that's been interesting. We will watch as news develops on that. She alleges that he faked a heart attack. I am personally going through something right now where I have someone who didn't fake a ailment or an illness. They actually were or are ill. However, their behavior during the process has been a little bit confusing. And so I can definitely relate to there being some weirdness around someone who is perhaps ill or saying that they're ill, but their behaviors don't necessarily align with it. How do you respond to that? How do you behave towards that? I don't have the answers. But you know what? When people exhibit consistent toxic behavior, I think that it is human nature for us to want to see the best in everyone. You know what I mean? Or at least I do. I oftentimes, live in a world where it is conducive to me, at least, to believe that people are genuinely good and that people genuinely are not out here to hurt or destroy or to manipulate, etc. So you can imagine my surprise in my own personal life. Sometimes you get to realize that even when you love someone, there's a possibility they may not be accountable for their behavior. There's a possibility that they are stuck in an emotional and, they have a very low emotional IQ or emotional quotient, not IQ, but emotional quotient. And what I mean by that is not their ability to understand emotions, but their ability to understand what their emotions do to people, how their